Welcome to a special edition of Cape Ann. Today, Heather and I are joined by Bob Whynott, the former Ward 3 City Councilor, who is putting his hat back into the race again and running as a write-in candidate. How you doing, Mr. Whynott?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
Doing great. Thanks for spending some time with us. Okay, so right off the top, Bob, why are you running again?
Okay, because I'm a political junkie for one thing, and I've been involved in one way or the other for many years. When I turned 21, I went down and registered to vote. The first day I was eligible, and I've been ever since involved in politics, either working with somebody else or myself. And when the charter changed, the new charter came in 1976. I ran for the Ward 3 council seat, and I got elected. And we had some tough things to do. Nobody knew much about the charter, and we also had what do you call it? Tax classification. We had to deal with that too. So, and we dealt with some other things. We brought variant into Gloucester, which I was very proud of that because we had to do a lot to beat Beverly. They wanted it, and we provided the land, and we landscaped it for them, and we brought them in, and they've employed thousands and thousands of people and paid a lot of taxes. So that was great. And I ran a few more times, but when I run for office, normally I do it with shoe leather. I knock on all the doors. I knocked on 8,000 doors once when I was running at large, but I can't do that anymore. I'm a little bit older and I have COPD, asthma, but I'm perfectly capable of doing the job. So when I saw this opportunity to put my hat in the ring without pounding on thousands of doors, I took it.
I see. So go ahead, Heather.
Well, I was just going to say, Mr. Whynott, I understand that once before you did what happened to Adam Orlando, where you put yourself on the ballot and then you realized you were not really interested in that seat at that point. Is that right?
No, I can explain what happened.
Oh, okay.
I was the incumbent Ward 3 councilor.
Okay.
And I was planning on running again. I hadn't taken out papers or anything. And my daughter, she was 6 at the time, and my son was 9. And she said, "Daddy, all you ever do is go to meetings. You never stay home with us." So Carl Grace had asked me if I was still going to run, and I said yes. But after that, I called him up and told him, "Go for it, and I'll support you." And I did. He won.
Okay, but your name was never on the ballot that time.
No, I never took my name off a ballot. No.
Okay. All right. That's so this is a pretty unusual circumstance.
It is, and it's happening. It happened in the school committee too.
Right.
And I haven't seen that. I don't think I've seen that before.
Huh. So can we just ask you, what are you feeling like the challenges are for running as a write-in candidate?
Well, obviously, Adam Orlando's name is still going to be on the ballot. And so in order to become an official runner-up, I have to get 30% of the vote. And of course, there's another write-in candidate, as you know, as well, Mr. Marguerite. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but anyway.
Marjota.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a tough one to write in.
I'm an Italian. I knew that one. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, I just thought it would be tough, but I got some signs. And if you want to see a sign, can you see behind me over here?
Yeah.
We see right in. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. I'm going to have 3 of those down there, and I got people going to help me hold them. And it shows, ask my vote, but then it shows the ballot, and you have to write it in and then color in the circle there.
Right.
So anyway, that's, people are going to know how to do it anyway.
Right. And so what issues are most important to you concerning Ward 3?
I think the infrastructure, and they're doing a lot now. And I'm happy to see that because there's been a lot of detours, as you probably know, if you've been driving around town. Mm-hmm. And that's important. I think we need to make sure we have good water delivery, because we have plenty of water, but when they go off of one reservoir and onto the other, sometimes it doesn't work too well, and you get brown water. And I'm concerned about up at Gloucester Crossing, all those new apartments up there. It's gonna impact the water supply. I think we're gonna need water. And you're gonna need to be able to get fire apparatus in there with enough water if there's a fire up there. So those are the kinds of things that are important to a ward councilor, and it should be anybody. I'm a strong supporter of police, fire, and DPW. I think they keep us safe, all of them, and I always have been. And I think we need to think about what global warming is going to do. I'm a believer that it's happening, but I don't know that it's all caused by us, because there's been 3 ice ages according to the geologists and scientists. So this warms and cools, but it's going to happen. And the United States has done a good job so far. Since 2005, they've lowered the carbon footprint every year, and we're the only industrial country that's done that. And that doesn't mean we don't have to do more, but we do. In Gloucester, part of Roger Street used to be underwater. So it's possible it will be again if we don't do something. And I don't know, I'm not an engineer, so I don't know what we do, but we have to be prepared if the water level goes up.
And
Bob,
I understand.
go ahead.
I'm sorry, Corey. The high school is in Ward 3, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and that's seen some serious flooding, and that had never happened before. What do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, we'll have to. I mean, there was always water in the basement in the Gloucester High School years ago. No, not to, maybe to the extent it is now, but they dug up all that area, and I don't know if they put enough back in to keep the water from. You're right on the water, so it's going to come up, and that's probably the first place we got to worry about. One of the first places anyway, if the tides come up. We've had some pretty high tides lately. Driving over the bridge, they're only inches from the bottom of the bridge, so it's scary.
Right. But
we all want clean air and clean water, and that's a given. We have to have that. And when I went to California as a computer programmer for Raytheon in 1969, I drove into Los Angeles, and I had to roll up all my windows. You couldn't even breathe. And I went back there with my wife in 1973, and it was clear. So you can do it. Pittsburgh was the filthiest city, had the filthiest air in their city for years. And they went on a big campaign, and now they're one of the top 10 cleanest. So we can do it.
So for Bob, for young voters, first-time voters, newbies to the area, can you just talk about yourself for a bit, your background, your family life?
Okay. Okay. My grandfather was a dory fisherman, and he was top dory on quite a few of those schooners. And he was born in Portman Way, Nova Scotia, the same town that Howard Blackburn was born in. And they were 7 years apart in age, so they absolutely had to know each other. And he came to Gloucester. A lot of them came to Gloucester from Nova Scotia. And my father was in the fishing industry until he got tuberculosis and had to have a lung removed, so he couldn't do that work anymore. He was the foreman of the fresh fish company down there. My mother worked on the wharf all her life, very hardworking woman. She just passed away in 2010, three months short of 99. And we have that longevity on that side of the family, the Italian side. My grandmother was 99 as well, and she had 3 sisters that were over 100 out of the 12. So I was born and brought up here. I was born on French Street in the Portuguese section of town. And my mother bought a house down in Union Hill, just down the hill from French Street. And so I was brought up in the Lady of Voyage Church, and it was in the Holy Name. And I'm the vice president of the DES Club, and I'm a life member of the Gloucester Fraternity Club, and a life member of the Elks. So I'm a people person. And I think one of the biggest things I bring to the table is I can argue politics with somebody on the opposite spectrum, and I don't get angry. I listen to the other person, and then I say what I think, and then go from there. And I do that when I make decisions on the council too. Listen to everybody. And one of the things as a ward councilor I always prided myself on is I answer every phone call, every email, and I even let people interrupt me when I'm out eating. And because it's important to them. And then I was 25 years in the computer industry, and then I ran for city clerk, and I won that. And since 2009, I've been a deputy sheriff. I do part-time. I serve civil process, and I've married over 1,100 couples as a justice of the peace. I keep busy, and
so.
you know, like Satchel Paige, if you don't look behind you, just keep going forward.
Yeah, he knows about longevity too. Yeah. So, Bob, what message do you have for the voters on Ward 3 for this November 2nd? We know there's a lot going on. The write-in thing, it's a bit of an anomaly to have 2 write-ins and have a candidate drop out. Obviously, there's a lot going on in this political season anyway. That's a bit unusual. So to try to reach out to those folks now while you have time, what would you like to say to them?
I would say learn everything you can learn about the candidates that you're going to vote for. And decide, don't just listen to one person or another person. Read everything you can, and you know the Times is pretty good at putting things in there that tells you a little bit about the candidates. But you know, also if you're out in the coffee shops like I went to restaurants all during the pandemic. I never stopped, and I wrote it up on Facebook that they were safe and clean and everything. I'm very concerned about our small businesses too. But anyway, I would tell them, you know, listen to other people and don't think about what you're going to say while they're talking. Just listen to them, and you can always tell. You can tell sincerity, I think, just by looking in the person's eyes, and then make your decision, and then go down and make sure you vote. If it's raining, if it's cold, still go out and vote, and then be involved after that. You know, if you're somebody they're interested in it, it's pretty easy to get on a board in the city. The mayor will appoint you just to apply for it and get involved. But you know, if there's an issue that you're really concerned about, go to the meetings, because I tell people petitions are nice, but they're not as convincing as people in the seats out there. So I used to tell people, if you can get 50 people to go up there, you can get anything you want.
This is true. Well said.
So we want to remind people that it's really important, if you're voting for a write-in candidate, to write the name clearly, but also you have to still fill in the little oval. So
absolutely. Now the only thing, as I ran 40 elections, so I can tell you, you have to, if you can determine voter intent, you count the ballot. So if they just put Whynott, or if they just put the other guy's name, that's enough. You know, that as long as they're both, like, there could be 4 Bob Whynotts in Gloucester, but I'm the only one that's you know, come out publicly. So any Bob Whynott vote would be for me, and that's what you have to do. But you know, they in the laws, it says you write the name and the address, and unless if it's a local election, you don't have to put the city in. But really, with voter intent, you don't have to write the address. It'll still be counted.
Yeah, it will definitely still be counted. I think it's a little easier on the people counting the names if it gets registered in the computer. Yeah. Right.
And lastly, Bob, if people want to learn more about you or your campaign, how can they go about doing that? Well,
I have a website, and I've had it for a number of years, bobwhynott.com. You don't need the wwws anymore like you used to. bobwhynott.com. It talks about myself as a justice of the peace and as a candidate and all the other things I've been involved in. And my final thing to tell people, be happy. Every day you wake up breathing in and out is a good day. And every day you don't laugh or smile a couple times is a wasted day. That's my philosophy.
Well, Mr. Whynott, we appreciate your service. We appreciate your attempt at servicing the community in another way once again, and good luck on November 2nd.
And call me Bob.
You got it, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you very much.